Okay, you can see that the table above shows conversion factors between the customary and metric systems for units of length, capacity, and mass or weight. You can also use dimensional analysis to convert between measurements of systems. The two conversion factors, 1 foot over 0.30 meters and 0.305 meters is also 1 foot, use the same conversion. Use the factor that will correctly divide out the appropriate unit. For example 3, we're going to now use the measurement conversion table and convert centimeters to inches or quarts to liters. Okay, look here. Really, what we're saying is 12 centimeters, okay, to inches. We can say that every inch, see that? Every inch is 2.54 centimeters. So how many of these are in 12 centimeters? That's what we're asking. So we take our 12 centimeters, okay? You can see here our 12 centimeters, and we're going to divide it by this unit to see how many of these are in here, because this is even though it's written in centimeters, this is how many centimeters are in 1 inch. So we want to figure out how many of these are in 12, and that'll tell us. And when we divide 12 centimeters, when we divide 12 divided by 4 by 2.54, we get 4.72 inches. Okay? And then the same goes for quarts to liters. 1 quart, okay, so we have 4 quarts to liters. 1 quart is 0.946 liters. Okay, almost an entire liter, but it's not. Okay, so 1 quart, we have 4 of them here. So we have 4 of these. We have 4 of these there. So what do we want to do now? We want to multiply, right? So this time we're directly multiplying 4 times 0.946, which tells us the amount of liters. Okay, so 4 quarts is approximately 3.78 liters. Let's try 3A, B, and C to practice. We have 6 miles is approximately how many kilometers? Well, 1 mile, you see it here, 1 mile, let me zoom that in for you, is 1.609 kilometers, approximately 1.6 kilometers, right? 1.6 kilometers, so just a little bit more than 1.5. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply these miles, because each one of these miles is this amount of kilometer. So we have to multiply 6 times this amount. And when we do so, we get 9.654 kilometers, right? Because we want to know what 6 miles is in kilometers. So it's this. And remember to write it to the hundredth place, not the thousandths. This 4 will not change the 5, so we write 9.65. Okay, let's do ounces to grams. Now, ounces to grams, these are both weight, okay? We also have something called fluid ounces. That would be for capacity, for liquid. This is for weight. So, let's see here. Oh, here's our weight, mass or weight. And we have 1 ounce is 28.350 grams. So for every 1 ounce, we have 28.35 grams. Okay, so we're going to multiply it by 12 then, because every one here is one of these. So we multiply. And I get 340.2 grams. You can write that one right under there. And finally, yards to meters. 1 yard is 0.914 meters. Remember, this is a fraction of a number. Right? This is a decimal, but it's a fraction of this. It's a smaller version or a piece of this. So when we want to find the fraction of a number, we multiply. So again, we're going to multiply 1 times, actually not here, we wouldn't multiply 1. We're going to multiply 11 times 0.194. And when I do so, I get 10.054 meters. But remember that we only go to the hundredth, so it'll just simply be 10.05 meters. For the sake of time, please go ahead and read number 4 on your own. It explains there how to convert, and then it shows you the step-by-step process. Okay, but for now, let's do 4 together. Okay, at a recent Winter Olympics, USA short track speed skater Apollo Ono won a gold medal by skating about 12 meters per second. There's my ratio. Rounded to the nearest hundredth, how many miles per hour is this? So we have to... Okay, so we want to look for on the top, we're looking for how many miles instead of meters. We're looking for miles. And on the bottom, we're looking for hours. I need to see, I can also see how many meters. If I do 12 meters in 1 second, how many meters am I actually doing in an hour? Well, we have to figure out how many seconds are in an hour, right? So I can know, because for every second, I'm doing 12 meters. Every second, I'm doing 12 meters, right? So, how many seconds are in an hour? I know that there is 60 minutes in an hour, okay? And every minute, so 60 minutes in an hour, and every minute has 60 seconds, right? So that's this equation here is gonna tell me how many seconds are in an hour, because we have 60 seconds per minute, and there are 60 minutes in an hour. So 60 times 60 ends up being 3,600 seconds. Okay? And I'll tell you in a minute why I put it on the top. And for hours, so that's going to help me figure out how many of these. Okay, I'll tell you now. I put it on the top because I want to figure out if I multiply 12 meters times 3,600 seconds, it's going to tell me how many meters I do in an hour. So I'm multiplying this amount by every second there is in an hour, and it's going to tell me how many meters I do in an hour. So that's going to give me my answer of how many meters entirely. Then I want to take this number of meters and convert it to miles. So how many miles, okay, I'm going to put miles down here. How many miles are there, or how many meters are there in a mile? Well, we know that once I multiply 12 meters by 3,600, I'm going to get how many meters I can do in an hour. But I want to convert now meters to miles, so that, because I've already figured out what I'm doing per hour, and that's my amount up here, how many meters I'm doing per hour. But I want to convert meters to miles. Well, I have to change this number of meters first to kilometers, and I know that I have 1,000 meters in a kilometer. How many meters do I have in a mile? I have 1,600 meters in a mile. So to go directly to miles, all I have to do is divide this number by miles, by the number of meters in a mile. Okay, this is meters. After I do all those calculations, I'm going to have miles on the top per hour. Okay, so when I do that, I get the following. And I'll write it down here. 12 meters times 3,600 seconds, so I can know how many meters I do per second in an hour. Okay, I get the number 43,200. Okay, and that number is meters. How many meters? That's how many meters I do in an hour. I can do 12 meters in 1 second, but in 1 hour I do 43. So really, this is the ratio I have per hour so far. Okay, so I figured out. Now let's convert this to miles. How do I convert this to miles? Well, I have to figure out how many meters in here are in each mile, and I know there's 1,600 meters per mile. So I'm going to take this large amount and I'm going to divide it. Okay, I'll multiply here. And I'm going to divide it by 1,600 meters, which is how much I have in 1 mile. You see that? So then if I multiply straight across, I'm going to have my 43,200 over, well, here I have 1 hour times 1,600, I multiply straight across, over 1,600. Because this is how many meters I have in 1 mile, and this is how many meters I have total in an hour. Once I divide those two, I will have 27. So that's 27 miles per hour. Okay, this is my explanation for number 4. I know it's a little long. We will practice this in class again and again. Okay, that's all for today, boys and girls.